This is Coach Jason at Art of War MMA and Fitness. Today I want to show you a couple of ways that you can transition from striking into takedowns on the fence. And specifically, I want to show you a situation where maybe I'm a right-handed fighter competing against a right-handed opponent. Coach Adam's gonna be the opponent, and both of us are right-handed, and typically for me to get in on single legs, that usually involves some type of stance switch so that I can put my lead leg close to his lead leg. And so we're going to look at a few ways you can switch stances from striking, and then a few options for a single leg off the fence. Okay. So in these scenarios, in this particular situation, we're looking at an opponent that's backed up, it's retreating on the fence, and he's moving towards my power hand. Okay, I'm going to cut him off with my footwork. I'm going to shot fake, and when I level change my shot fake, what's very important is I want to gain some distance when I feint, right? So I don't want to just be like shot fake. Now I have to come with a big punch or a shot from out here. If I decide I'm going to use a shot fake, I'm going to be like I'm going to take a step in, shot fake, overhand, then I'm in on my single. Okay, so we're over here, he's backed up on the fence. He begins to move towards my power hand, right? So I suspect, hey, overhand right would be good. Shot fake, overhand, stance switch. Okay? This time we're gonna go into a takedown, okay? He's moving towards my power hand. Shot fake, overhand, stance switch. I'm gonna simply pull him out a half step, and I'm gonna go right back in and lasso his legs. And we're gonna do a football hike double, okay? I'm gonna hike. I'm going to pull him out a half step, and then I'm going to go right back in. And the advantage of doing this double leg is when you use the single leg to pull them out and in, quite often their feet stay out. That's going to enable me to do a football hike double, okay? Which you don't have to lift them like you would a normal double. Moving to the right, shot fake, overhand. I'm going to come in the single, I'm going to pull him out, I'm going to go back in. When I do this football hike double, usually people are going to be posting on their hand or forearm as we go down. As I go down, I'm immediately grabbing the hip. I would expect that hand to be posted out there, right? He's looking to get back up. I'm going to reel that hand back in. See, I've got head position. I'm going to reel that hand back in. He goes down to the elbow, and I pass it, right? I can keep both hands on here until I'm happy with the grip that I have with this, okay? I pass it. Now I've got head position. I could be in the full mount. I could be posted out here. I could be single leg ride. Great position to drop strikes, okay? My head is kind of preventing him from blocking these strikes. So they're probably going to clear that, right? Now we end up in this position, which Khabib has used many, many, many times. You can strike people from here. Now that also leads into options. If you can get under the chin to choke them with the gable grip, or with the traditional sleeper grip. But it's just a really good ground and pound position. So the second option that I'm going to show is basically we're going to do a drop switch. And all that is I'm going to drop my center of gravity and I'm going to switch and throw a jab, right? So I switched my stance and I threw a jab, then I'm coming right over the top with the overhand. So all I'm going to do, drop, and I switch my stance, coming with the overhand, right? And I'm in on that single. Okay, so my opponent's trapped up on the fence. Okay, he's beginning to move towards my power hand. I cut him off, okay? Drop switch. Doesn't even matter if I make contact on the jab. It's just a way for me to switch stance and get a hand in his face, okay? So, switch. This is the one that I want to hit. I want to hit that overhand. Okay, so we're out here. He's moving away from me. He starts to move to my right. Drop switch. Coming here. Immediately pulling that out. High into my armpit. So when you pull that out, okay, now I'm going to come back in with punches too. Go back. My opponent's backed up. He's moving towards my power hand, okay? I'm going to do the drop switch. Overhand. Immediately pull it out using this hand to assist, getting it high into my armpit, okay? Now I can't stay here. I'm immediately pushing him back in with strikes and then grabbing the tendon. Now when I circle him back to take him down, there are other ways to take him down, but this is a really simple way. When I do this modified dump single here, I'm going to be lowering my level as I rotate, and my feet are going to move in a little circle.
right? See how immediately, if I were to allow space, that leg comes into play. So as we hit the ground, not only am I controlling this, but I'm getting low, right? Because now, whether I wanted to drop into north-south, whether I wanted to back wheel, whether I want to get gift wrap mount, right? I've got all those options here. So if you're facing like somebody who's like a wrestler or a striker that wants to get right back to their feet, quite often from here, right, they're going to be turning and you're going to end up stapling and having a thigh plank. So I'll end up, I've already got this from the leg drag position, that's stapled, and I'm just thigh planking here. Now I've got some great striking opportunities from here. Okay, I could also get double leg rides, break him down and choke him. I could also transition from here into a single leg ride and move into my truck position. Those of you that like this position, right? A lot of great options that we can do from here. Just depends on your comfort level. Option number 3. So both of those options were based on me throwing a punch first. Another way that you can switch stance is I can use my teep kick, right? I can use that right teep kick, plant it, and throw a right hook. Okay, particularly if they're just like a little ways off the fence, you can use that teep kick to push them back into the fence, and that's going to set up that right hook, and then I'm right in there for my single leg, okay? So same situation, okay, I'm tracking my opponent, I give a nice push kick, boom, I step down, right hook, in on the single. Those of you who've tried the basic dump single, or I've heard wrestlers call it running the pipe, you know that it can be difficult on somebody with exceptional balance, right? So I'm going to try that takedown. If my opponent starts to resist, a lot of times I can switch to a flare double or a knee tap. So that's what we're going to show here. So as I get to into this single leg position, let's do this start from the beginning again. I use my teep kick, I switch stance, I hook, boom. I immediately begin to try to run the pipe with Adam, but he's doing such a good job of keeping his balance, right? Now all I'm going to do is, as I'm running the pipe, I'm stepping that foot back, controlling here, and I'm keeping my head up, right? And I'm just going to run, and I'm going to switch that in his armpit for a knee tap, and end up in judo side control. Settling in with a nice underhook here, hips off the ground, okay? One thing that I want to point out, when you guys make this transition from dump single to flare double or knee tap, is when I'm turning my feet on this, right, if I stay too tight to Adam, now I have to disentangle my feet, right, to go. But all I have to do is when I'm turning, I just put that foot back anyway. Right, so we're here, boom. I'm gonna circle. Look, my feet are already in position. All I have to do is block that knee and start running that way. I could keep this knee, but I'm gonna just hit a knee tap, right? So my arm is gonna go up into the armpit. Sliding through to judo side control, okay? There's many options from judo side control of offense, okay? A very common one in MMA is immediately hiding that arm. Okay, I like to do this right away to avoid him framing. Okay, I will hide that arm, and sometimes they will let me just push that down and capture it. Another trick I like to use, if they know that that's coming, is I'll keep my elbow trapped here, and I'll just do a couple little slaps, right? Because I already know that's going to start to get that reaction, and then I can push it down and I can trap it, okay? Coach Adam did a nice video on the mounted crucifix. There's different options for finishing here. I can attack kimuras, I can attack key locks, I can attack triangles. So there's many finishing options. So Adam's got a whole nother video on finishing from that mounted crucifix. So the other option I'm going to show today is basically using this very common step over armbar attack as a decoy for my walk around Darce. Okay, so we've landed in judo side. I'm going to step over, okay, and then all I'm really doing with that is turning Adam up a little bit. Now I'm gonna sprawl that leg back, and my left hand that was on his tricep is gonna go through, and it's gonna go to my own thigh. And I'm gonna keep my left hip really low. Plant. I have to keep my left hip very low on this one, okay? I'm turning with my left hip really low. I'm turning him. Walking my arm all the way up to here, right? Not here. Walking it all the way up. And then I like to just step all the way over to mount. Now I can drop my elbows and apply this squeezing pressure by dropping my elbows and expanding my chest.